Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the first live of 2025. This is Maria with Simplified Partners, and I'm so excited to be back. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas holiday break and also a Happy New Year. So, Happy New Year to you if you are watching this around the time that I am going live. So, I started in late 2024, started a live series here on YouTube called Simply Profits. And so, my goal in the Simply Profits series is to go live and answer questions as you come on live. And then also those of you that are watching the recording will also be able to see kind of some of the chat and some of the things happening. So one of the things that I find that is very something that a lot of business owners are looking for is like, what is the right accounting program? And then also what's the right accounting process, right? So a lot of you might be looking for what's the best accounting solution for me. And in some cases, businesses might not really want to go down the path of QuickBooks Online for many different reasons. So QuickBooks Online is a great platform, but in today's live, I'm going to be talking about an alternative to FreshBooks or an alternative to QuickBooks called FreshBooks. So FreshBooks is an excellent accounting platform. I absolutely recommend it. Particularly for businesses that are service-based businesses. So if you have an agency or you are a web designer or you maybe have other types of services, or you're in the trades business, maybe you're a landscaper, or you do things, you do home improvement work. There's so many different examples of how FreshBooks can help support you. So what I wanted to do in this live is to go through the software, but not just focus on the features themselves, but really talk about it as a piece of your overall financial process. So I mentioned at the beginning of the live that, there's a lot of business owners looking for a product, like for the software, for the app, but they also need to have a process around their financials. And I would say that the process is actually more important overall, but you obviously need to select a product. So what I'm going to do here in just a moment is share my screen, and you and I are going to be walking through together the FreshBooks platform. But before I jump over to the software, I just want you to ask yourself these questions. Number one, do you currently have accounting software? So if you don't, then FreshBooks is obviously going to be easy for you to set up. You don't have anything that you're trying to convert to. If you do have another software, I would say that if it's not updated, and with it being, especially the time of year that you watch this video is going to have a bearing on this, but especially if you're at the beginning of the year, it's a great time to just pick up with a new software. And if you need to have past records, you absolutely can have those transferred into QuickBooks. If you need help with that, just find the links below and I can chat with you about how to do that. So the other thing I want you to think about, back to what I said about process, is I want you to think about, do you have an accounting process? So do you have a way for your vendors to email you when they want to be paid? Do you have a separate email set up for that? You want to be able to have like a separate email for that. So if it's accounting at, or vendors at, or something else, that might be something that you want to implement. Also ask yourself, do you have terms for your bills? So are you being clear with people that are providing you goods and services? This is how I pay. So it's important to have a terms for your business. Are you just paying everyone the moment that you get a bill? Well, that's not really what terms are about. It's either you're going to have net 30 terms, you're going to have net 15, or whatever those happen to be. Also ask yourself, do you have a process for when people need to pay you? So when you send an invoice to someone, what is the expectation from your business on when that needs to be paid? Other things such as, do you have a cadence around the things that you're doing? So for example, what I would say is that you want to review your financial statements every month. And if you have never looked at a financial statement, then just make that a goal to create a financial statement. And I'm going to show you how to do that using the FreshBooks software. A few other things about the platform itself before we move into the software is FreshBooks, in my opinion, really stands apart from a lot of other they stand apart from their competition with their customer support. They really, really do have a great customer support team. that is willing and able to help you with any questions that you have. You don't really feel like you're going through some, hitting these buttons and getting someone that doesn't understand your question. So that's definitely something that's going to be a big benefit to you by using FreshBooks. The other thing that or the other thing I like about FreshBooks to tell you about is they have something called collaborative accounting. And we do this with some of our clients. And what is that? Well, collaborative accounting isn't where like you give everything to someone else. Like if you hire someone, like you might have heard of like a more traditional accounting firm where you're like, here's my business. I want you to do everything. I want you to keep up with the receipts. I want you to like set up my software. I just every now and then need a financial statement. That's definitely not collaborative accounting. So the word collaborative means that it's you and I, right? It's the business owner and the accountant working together. So the FreshBooks software lends itself, and they really came up with this term of collaborative accounting because it allows you as a business owner, or let's say someone that works on your behalf, to do the day-to-day, but then can work with a firm like mine to maybe do some month-end checks, to make sure the financial statements are correct, to enter any journal entries that need to be managed. And so FreshBooks just has their platform built in such a way that it's easy to share the file, and it's easy for us to have like views into different things that we need to do. So if you are looking to have help, but you don't really want to just outsource the entire thing, maybe you're still a small business and you're just not there yet, or maybe you want to stay involved. And I would say absolutely. The best business owners are really the ones that know where they stand financially. And so certainly if we're working together with the collaborative accounting model, we work together to make sure that you understand where you stand, right? So that you can see what's happened and you can make a plan for where you're headed. So let's dive in now to the FreshBooks software and we'll get started. I'm going to share my whole screen here and we're going to select screen one. And here we go. Okay. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is the FreshBooks premium version. So they do have, let me show you where that is. You're going to go here under billing and upgrade, and you're going to see, this is like a test file. It says ABC, but you can see here it says your plan is the premium. So the premium, this is like the actual price, like the main price. You will get a discount on your software. And you can see here there's been a discount applied to this software. So there is more than one. You can click on your plan, and you can see here that there's different pricing. So there's a light plan. This only allows you to have 5 clients or customers entered. I would say you really want to start off with the plus plan and then move up to premium. So I'm going to go over premium, and we're going to walk through all of these features, and you can see the differences. So mainly the difference between your plus plan and your premium plan is going to be around bills. So if you get a lot of bills and you need to be able to enter bills and track bill payments and make bill payments, that is something that the premium version offers. You also have more reports with the premium version. And then it's also nice, you're able to create these email templates, and we'll look at that in just a moment. So there's a few things in there, and that's where you find all that information. All right, so let's go over to your dashboard. Now, this file is ABC Services, and so I've set this up as a test file, and think of it as like a landscaper. It's like a landscaping business. They just need to get their accounting software set up. So you're going to see some references to some landscaping terms. Now, the really great thing is that when you come into FreshBooks, they've designed their software for you to get in, see the things you need, and then get out, right? Because we don't want to spend all day in here. So notice what the dashboard has. The first thing that you see is outstanding invoices. This is super, super important because as a business owner, this means, in this example, it's $11,500 that we are owed $11,500 currently. So it's going to show what's overdue and then what's outstanding, which is not overdue yet, but it is something that we are owed. This is really, really important, obviously, because you need the cash flow. You need customers to pay you so that the operation can continue, and that obviously you are not trying to chase down payments. And so that's right here front and center for you to see. The next area is called revenue and expenses. Now, because this is a test file, we don't really have any data in here that's showing, but imagine that these numbers are just going to go up and down month over month. So you're going to be able to see the total sales and then the expenses that you have, total sales and expenses. So these numbers will show you how much you brought in and how much you spent. So obviously you want this to be in the positive. You don't want this to be dipping below the zero line. These are also going to show up your total profit, and it's going to show you for a time period and then also allow you to go straight to that report. You can also see revenue streams. So think of revenue streams as like the different services that you offer. So let's say that you have consultations and then you have a membership. So you could set up a revenue stream as a consultation and then another revenue stream as a membership. And then this is going to give you a little bit of a clear picture on your spending. And then the last thing, FreshBooks is built in such a way that you can track time on projects, which is another big reason why I love FreshBooks, because a lot of agencies and service providers do work on a project basis, and you're able to sort of keep all of your expenses with the project together, and you can run profitability reports on the projects. So I love this dashboard because it's everything you need to see at a quick glance. And you don't have to go over here and tinker around with these different menus just to get the data that you need. So as a business owner, I just love this feature, and I think you will as well. The next area is clients. This is where you're going to enter your clients. One thing I like about FreshBooks and feedback I've heard from other businesses is it's just so easy to read. It's easy to get around. If I click, some of these have a kind of you have to click down, and you can get to the things you need very quickly. It's not buried under a lot of other things that you might not use. And there are some other accounting softwares out there that just have a lot more features than maybe what a small business owner needs. And so FreshBooks could be a good solution for you. So let me go back to clients. These are the clients. We have Joe Smith set up as a client, and then you're going to see them listed here at the bottom. You're also going to see the sent emails. So any emails that you've sent to that client are going to be right here. And this is really great that you have this history of the sent emails. And so let me show you a client record. So let's open up Joe Smith. And you can see that that $11,500, that is all due from Joe Smith. So it looks like we need to make a call to Joe and see what's going on here. And so then you can see here at the bottom that we have billed him for bookkeeping services. And so this XYZ landscaping company, we billed him, and we probably aren't working with him anymore if he hasn't paid his bill this long, but here you go. So this is everything that we billed him, and you can simply click on any of these. Obviously this is an old file, but you can see that we have a lot of outstanding invoices from him. So let me show you how to create one and how easy it is. So if you create new, you can see you can create a lot of different things. Now, if you're working with XYZ Landscaping every single month and their invoice is the same, you can go ahead and create a recurring template. But we can create an invoice, just a one-time invoice. Now, there's a lot on the left-hand side that I'll walk through, or excuse me, on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is just the way that the invoice is laid out, and you're able to add lines. These are your revenue sources. So you can see I've got some stuff entered for a business like mine, advisory, bookkeeping, client meetings, consulting, whatever you want to add. And you're able to add different hourly amounts or fees to these. So let's say I'm doing advisory services, it's a $6.95 fee, and maybe that's all I need to do. I can enter terms here, I can enter notes here, I can also attach things to the invoice. And then over on the right-hand side, let me just walk you through these settings. FreshBooks has an excellent online payment option. You are able, let's just click on this, you're able to connect FreshBooks payments. This is powered by Stripe. There is going to be some transaction fees, and you can also do an ACH bank transfer if you want to, have to stay away from the credit card fees. And then you can do the setup if you would like to do that for FreshBooks payments. But they also have other connections, such as through PayPal, that you can use instead of the FreshBooks payments. Okay, so let's cancel that. Let's go back here. You can also change the style of the invoice. You can make it recurring. You can add reminders. This is really great. This helps you to not have to remember to send these out. You can set up late fees. So we've saw that this customer hasn't paid in a while, so we might want to do that. We might want to charge some late fees. You can also change the currency and then attach the invoices. You can do that as well. So remember, some of these are plus fee or premium features that you'll see here on the premium plan, but this is just how you create a new invoice. Now, once you have the invoice created, you notice you can send it to. This is really great. So this is a default email template, and you can type on this, or you can just change the actual template and you can make it say something different every time. So if I want to go to preview, it's going to open up like my logo, how everything's going to look. It just shows everything. I can see that, and I can either send the invoice or I can share via a link. So it's just really nice. So creating a shareable link will mark this draft invoice as sent. And I was like, okay, got it, sure. And then once we do that, we are going to be given a link. And so you just copy to the clipboard and then you can email it yourself. But what's really nice is you also could just go in here, edit, and you can just send it directly using this email template here. So totally up to you on how you handle that. So now there's the new invoice. Notice it's marked sent for $6.95. The next section you see is called estimates. So estimates allow you to create estimates and proposals to streamline your invoicing. And so right in here, we don't have any of these set up at the moment, but we can go in. An estimate is going to be a little bit more generic than a proposal. So if you have the need to send your customer something and have them sign, then you want to do a proposal. So you'll notice it says showcase your value with custom content, images, and attachments, and request an e-signature. You also can do an estimate. So let me show you what the estimate looks like. Very similar to an invoice. I can simply create the same service dropdown, and then I can decide what client that I'm going to send it for. And I have just a couple things I can do. I can change the style of my invoice if I would like. I have these to select from. Notice how I'm just changing this around, just changing the look there. I can also change the color to one of their theme colors they have, and then also go with maybe a classic or a modern font. Cancel out of this. You also can change the currency and language. So all this is going to do is send this estimate over to your client the exact same way, send to, and it just says, our company has sent you an estimate. Please take a look at the attached estimate for services. We look forward to working with you. So that's what this is. Now, as opposed or compared to a proposal, you're going to see a lot more detail on here. So let's do the same thing. Let's choose them. And we're able to select advisory services. And notice here that it's defaulted to require an e-signature. So we've said, yes, we do want to do that. And that's going to be at the bottom. So you're able to add a couple more things on a proposal. You can add some notes. You can also add your terms. So these are some terms that we added here on this invoice. And then you also can do attachments. And then there's your signature. So look how it's changed. So send to is we sent your proposal. And then you can update the note here. Please review and sign, and then send when completed. So that's how we handle that. So you might be using a software for this. With FreshBooks, you don't have to use that software anymore. You can just use FreshBooks and go on about it. Especially if you have a business where it's important for you to respond quickly, you're able to respond quickly using FreshBooks. And they also have a mobile app. So you are able to do a lot of this on the go on your mobile if you're not in front of your computer, if your business is out of the office quite a bit. Now, when we get to invoices, let me just show you what's in here. You have an option to do a one-time invoice or recurring templates. And you also have the ability to create a retainer. So let me show you how this is different. So on a retainer, you basically just enter this information and then it creates it for you. So you select your client, you decide when the retainer will start and end, how often it is, or you can either do a custom, set a recurring schedule. You can set how many invoices that you want to have go out, either infinite or a specific number, and then also have the invoices sent automatically, Or maybe you need to just create them as drafts and then send them manually. So that's how that works. It's basically a way of setting up a recurring invoice or a recurring template, but just specifically for this client. So if you have retainers, this is a great option that they've built for you here in FreshBooks. And then recurring templates, just to show you what that looks like, very similar to what we just looked at, is you just set up who the client is, whether or not you're going to accept online payments for this recurring template, the style, and then you set up the schedule of how often it goes out. Now under payments, this is an area where all of your payments will be shown here. So you're going to see all the payments listed in this list. We only have this one. We did get a payment. You'll also have an area for checkout links. So this is really great. So when let me just show you here. It says sell anywhere and get paid up front. Create links once and reuse for fixed price items and services. And so you're able to set out a checkout link, but you have to have that online payment feature set up. But this makes it so easy, meaning that you don't even have to have an invoice prepared. You can just send them a link and then they just click the link and pay you. And so it's awesome. It makes it so easy. Like you can see here, automated receipt. So the customer will receive proof of payment right after they pay. Super simple. Now let's look at the expenses area. So this is really important for your business, that you have a way to easily track your vendors, which are people that are charging you for services. You also have a place to enter their bills, and you also have a way to upload. So one great practice that you want to get into is a good record keeping practice. So if you're not used to keeping receipts or keeping documents, especially for tax purposes, let's make this the year that you start doing this. And FreshBooks can help you with that. Their mobile app allows you to take pictures of your receipts and store them right in the software. And as you can see, you can also do that here. And so I'll go into a couple of these and show you how they work. First, let's go to our vendor list. So I have Lowe's entered here as a vendor. And what I did with Lowe's is I entered a bill. So let me click open this. You can take a look. So I have entered a bill for a handyman product, and it was $200. And so I need to pay this bill. So what you can do is you can add a payment, you can duplicate, archive, print, or delete. So we can go back. Oh, and one thing I wanted to show you about this bill, if you click on this, let's see, I was going to see how to show you how to add the receipt on here, which I don't see that. Let's go back and just create a bill. And notice here you can upload a bill or you can manually create a bill. So we're going to manually create a bill. And you can add your vendor, which let's do Lowe's. See right here. So it says drag a document and select a file. So you can attach your receipts for Lowe's right here. You can add a line item. You can add whatever it ends up, being. It might be, project supplies. That same amount was $200. You've got the receipt here, and then you can save it. So these are bills to you, right? So these aren't invoices. These are things that either they're receipts that you have, they're expenses for your business, or they're bills that you need to then turn around and pay to someone else. So really nice feature here. And what you're able to do is you're able to just go to the bills section and you're able to see all of your bills in one place. And so you can see this breakdown. It says bills overview. You can have you can create bills with multiple categories, which is really helpful. That helps you with tax season, and then also managing your vendors. So just being able to add them. One thing that makes FreshBooks different than a lot of other softwares is that you're able to actually invite your vendors into your accounting software. So they're not having access to your numbers, but they are able to do things such as send you bills and track their time, which is really helpful. So if you want to read more about vendors in FreshBooks, please check this out. Now, to go through the last few areas here, we have a projects feature. So again, this is one big benefit of using FreshBooks is if you have projects, you can track your time to projects, you can track your expenses, and you're able to get a profitability on the projects within your business. So instead of just having the overall profit of your business, you can then see the profit of each project. So I set up a few of these. I have 1010 Elm Street as a project for XYZ Landscaping. I also have Knoxville Fifth Third Bank as a project, and then Memphis Regions. So what you can do is you can click in any project, and you can see that you can kind of see all of the documents that have been added here. So I have a time entry that I've added of 3 hours. I have any invoices. So we did have an invoice here for Memphis Regions Bank. If I send an estimate, it's all grouped together. And I can also see all of my job or project expenses here in this section. So what's nice about it is I'm able to see a couple of things here at the top. I'm able to see how many hours in total that I've logged on the project. I'm also able to set a budget for the project, and then I can see the profitability. So how am I doing? How much have I billed? What have my costs been? And then what's my profit on the project? Then it has a discussion tab. This is a place for you and others that have access to FreshBooks to just chat about the project. How is this going? What can we change? Is there something we need to add to a bill? Did we not bill all the time that we needed to on this project? Whatever it is, it gives you a place here, and then you also can add attachments. Time tracking is another feature. Now, time tracking can be just timed, or it can be on a particular project. So you'll see it says new entry. You're able to add a client or project, add the service that you're doing. So this is your services list that you'll set up when you first set up the software, how much time, and then you just enter it. Now, again, this is also available on their mobile app. So if you're on the go, you can absolutely just enter your time there. And you'll notice right here, it says run payroll effortlessly. I'm going to show you that next. But there's actually payroll built within FreshBooks that's really awesome. So again, if you track your time here, it's just easier when you can run payroll and pull that time. Speaking of, the next area is payroll. Now, I'm a big fan of Gusto, and you'll notice that it's powered by Gusto, which is awesome. So Gusto is the payroll provider that I recommend, and FreshBooks has worked with Gusto to make FreshBooks Payroll now available. So it's payroll made for business owners. You're able just to select the Get Started button. What's great about this is that Gusto, it gives everyone their own portal. So whether you have contractors or you have employees, everyone that you pay out of Gusto, they're given their own login, so they can pull their, let's say, 1099 if they're a contractor, or they also can pull their W-2 if they're an employee. And there's a whole host of other things that just a payroll provider will give you. But the fact that it's integrated here with FreshBooks is a real bonus. Now, this area is a place where, like, my team and I spend a lot of time with our clients, is in the accounting area. So this is where we do certain things such as set up bank accounts, we set up the credit cards. What this does is it allows you to pull all of your transactions automatically into FreshBooks, which is awesome. This saves you so much time. You also can get to a lot of accounting reports. So there is a report section right here below that you can see. But these are more financial reports that we might use. Like, we're going to look at a sales tax summary to see if maybe you're at the end of the year, are there sales taxes? Are those sales tax numbers correct? Or your general ledger, we can just get an overview of every single account that you have. Or we need to make some adjustments. And so we do that through viewing your journal entries. So this is mainly for accountants, but also you can go into these different, this is, again, where you set up like the opening balance of a bank account, and then where you have all of your transactions that are feeding into the product. And then reports, probably my favorite area of FreshBooks. They just make it so easy for you to get what you need. Let's say that you want to always stay on top of, customers and making sure that they're paying you on time. Well, this is a report that you can favorite. So it's right here under payments reports, but you're able to favorite any report. So I put this one up here. And this is just showing me that anything that I have outstanding, you can see that one that we entered of $695 is here. That's a new invoice, but I also have $11,500 that's also due. And so it's so easy to get to your reports. And if you have questions on these reports, just send us a message in the links in the description box below, and we can absolutely help you kind of understand those reports. And then at the very bottom, one thing I just want to show you before I end the live is the App Store. So you only see these few, but if you click on visiting the App Store, you're going to see a lot of apps. So there are hundreds of apps that FreshBooks will integrate with. My advice is just get to know FreshBooks. Get to know what it does for you. It's a very powerful software. And if you use my link, you're getting it at a real great discount. So get to know FreshBooks and then think about your overall accounting process, like I talked about in the beginning, and how it's helping you to, how FreshBooks is helping you to build an overall process. And let's say that you do have like a certain time tracking software that you really like to use. Check out their App Store and see if you're able to integrate it with FreshBooks and use it. So it's definitely something, like I said, FreshBooks is an excellent choice for the, I'm going to stop sharing just a second. But FreshBooks is really just an excellent software for especially service-based business owners. If you don't have any kind of accounting software and you are a service-based business, absolutely take a moment to look at FreshBooks and get yourself organized for 2025. It really will save you a ton of pain and headache if you take time, especially here at the beginning of the year, or really anytime, really honestly, if it's July and you haven't had any accounting software, go ahead and set this up or set up another software. But the point is for you to have financial records for your business that you can go back to and that you can look at and you can see what's been the financial history, what's been the financial performance of my business. So if you have questions on any of this, any features of FreshBooks, if you have questions, if we can help you in any way, please contact us below. We would love to do it. And until next time, you guys have an awesome 2025, and I'll talk with you soon.